Well, what do we have here? Chainlink has just broken into a new all-time high for the first time in a very long time. So we're going to be doing a live stream talking about this, doing an analysis on Chainlink, talking about Bitcoin and a few other things. I'm going to let people join in on this stream before we get started, so definitely stick around. And if you're watching this as a playback, I might have time codes in the description that you can click on to skip through a little bit easier. But I'm just going to let some music play as people join in on the stream, and we'll get started very soon. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. So Chainlink is now finally breaking above that all-time high at $5.10. We're only 15 cents above it, but things are looking pretty good, guys. Technically we're in a blue sky breakout. So we're going to talk about a few things here. We're going to get the music going. Let me know if this music is good, if it's at a good level. But yeah, guys, this is an epic moment for all of us that are holding Chainlink right now, finally getting above the all-time high. Let me get rid of this text. So $5.10 was that level on Coinbase. The all-time high on Coinbase, $5.10. Chainlink now popping above it a little bit here, right? So it's not a huge breakout just yet, but it is a breakout nonetheless, and we are sitting at an all-time high. We did hit about $5.55. And yeah, we're well above the all-time high here. And as long as we're creating support above this line right here, above $5.10, then we're holding this breakout. We're confirming the breakout. So right now, things are looking really, really good. And, you know, we have a little bit of a pullback right now on the lower time frames, but I'm looking for support to come in here and actually get a continuation. I don't see that many sellers, right? If you're looking at the chart, we were trending up for a while, right? I mean, we were trending up. Then we had the global pandemic. Prices crashed. This was a gift. This was the best gift you could have gotten. Was that guys? That crash in March was the best thing that ever happened. It was just amazing to have that opportunity to buy crypto in general at those low prices. Chainlink immediately recovers, comebacks up to the all-time high, is now breaking out, right? So if people weren't going to be dumping Chainlink here at resistance, then I don't think they're going to really be looking to dump anytime soon. Of course, unless, of course, Bitcoin sees some kind of major dump. At that point, then it's possible that Chainlink, this breakout, might reverse. But as long as Bitcoin remains generally bullish, looking at Bitcoin now on the daily chart, as long as Bitcoin can remain generally bullish here, then this breakout for Chainlink will likely continue. And especially if Bitcoin does get a breakout above resistance and starts to push towards 10K again, I think Chainlink is going to be looking to test towards $6.10 or so. Actually, if you do the fib extensions on Coinbase, from swing high to swing low, yeah, about $6.10 is going to be that next major upside target, the 1272 fib extension. Around $6.10, I think, is where this breakout should be headed if Bitcoin continues its bullishness, right? Or at least remains generally stable, right? So, I mean, Bitcoin hasn't really been creating lower lows. We do have a slightly lower low here, but Bitcoin has generally been holding these prices looking pretty good. You know, not that many sellers stepping in. So if Bitcoin can get a push to the upside, Chainlink is most likely going to be looking to head towards $6.10 as that next upside target. Of course, you're going to get chop in between, but that's from here. That's another 16% to the upside from where we are now. And ultimately, I'm looking for, in the medium term, I'm looking for Chainlink to go to around $7.30, $7.40, another 40% to the upside from where we are right now. So I'm looking for, you know, again, this is a blue sky breakout, right? There is no previous resistance for Chainlink here. We have no historic price action to the left. This is the Coinbase chart. If you're looking at the Binance chart, even there's no historic price action above $5.10. So it's a blue sky breakout, right? It all depends on the amount of hype, the amount of demand there is for Chainlink right now that'll determine how far we go during this run, right? And again, every time we dump, we recover right back up. We don't find that many sellers. So it doesn't really make sense that people will be looking to sell now. I think it's likely that this run does actually continue. I think it's actually quite likely. That's what it's looking like to me right now. Let me go to chat real quick. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. See some familiar faces. Anthony M is in the chat saying, let's go. What's up, Anthony? Ventilos in the chat. What's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Guys, in the chat right now, how many people are watching? Almost 200 people. Guys, can you let me know in the chat? Click 1. Click 1 if you are a Chainlink holder. Click 2 if you're not a Chainlink holder. Let me know in the chat what the audience is looking like here. So guys, click 1 if you hold Chainlink, click 2 if you don't. So we got a lot of Chainlink holders. Mostly ones right now, mostly ones. We got a lot of Chainlink holders. Right now it's looking like 70% of the chat is a Chainlink holder and 30% of the chat is not. Yeah, guys, I've been talking about Chainlink for a long time. If you guys are a viewer, if you guys follow me to any capacity, at this point, you've probably heard me talk about Chainlink. It's definitely one of my favorite altcoins for sure. And there's a lot of demand for it right now. We have rumors that they're going to implement staking soon, but these are just rumors. You know, rumors of like announcements or something. But you know, this isn't like this is something that we heard recently. Regardless of that news, I mean, Chainlink has already been performing well regardless of any news. So this is just the extra icing on the cake if they do implement staking soon. If there is some kind of announcement, which we do not know just yet, or at least I don't know yet if it's true or not. Right, this isn't just some fake news pump. There's already a lot of demand for Chainlink. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already hit that like button, definitely hit that like button. Let's get the... Sorry. It's going to fix something. All right, so we got 226 people watching right now. We got to get 226 likes. And again, Bitcoin is kind of just trading sideways right now, right? So if Bitcoin can get some upside, Chainlink will see a nice rip to the upside, probably towards $6.10. And also, generally right now, guys, the stock market is doing pretty well, right? Contrary to what everyone thought the stock market was just going to crash, but the stock market's doing really well. We're still seeing upside, right? We had that 1 day huge dump, or a couple days, massive correction in the stock market, found support, created a higher low, and we're continuing up, right? We're coming back up to the same levels that we were at the highs here towards the beginning of June. So really nice recovery off of this dump, creating higher lows. Stock market's looking very bullish, and this is allowing Bitcoin to maintain these levels, remain relatively bullish. And I do think that we're at the point right now, if everything remains good, if everything remains stable, Bitcoin should be looking for a breakout, and that'll give more confidence for people to buy Chainlink as well. You know, a lot of people keep asking me what my targets for Chainlink are. And, you know, guys, it's a blue sky breakout, so you just have to take a guess, right? So my targets right now, first upside target, $6.10, and then around $7.30, $7.40. But we'll see how this actually plays out, right? We'll see how it plays out. Right now, we're stalling a little bit above the all-time high here, but there's not all too much selling. So I actually think we're going to get continuation, most likely, and a continued push. Ethereum also up nicely. Yeah, someone in the chat saying Ethereum's looking good. Yeah, guys, Ethereum is another one of my favorite altcoins by far. And, you know, guys, I mean, most of my favorite altcoin projects are built on Ethereum. So that basically means that Ethereum is the king, right? So you gotta know that Ethereum is going to do well. If anything's going to do well, you know, altcoin wise, it is Ethereum. So Ethereum is by far one of the best bets you can make in crypto, right? Besides Bitcoin, Ethereum is the best bet you can make. It's really not that expensive, only 240 right now. So it's a pretty attractive buy as well. So I'm definitely looking to accumulate more Ethereum moving forward. I mean, guys, 2 + 2 = 4. If all of your favorite altcoins are built on Ethereum, then, you know, 2 + 2 = 4. You got to buy some Ethereum as well, right? It only makes sense. Just looking at chat right now, guys, we're just hanging out, watching this price action. Ethereum up 5.8%, looking pretty good. Chainlink at an all-time high, just stalling here a little bit. I think we'll probably get continuation. I'm looking for this to actually continue. I don't see a reason why Chainlink would dump right now, especially if Bitcoin maintains this area. Chainlink's going to keep going. So we're going to be watching this pump, guys. Yeah, guys, I mean, at this, William says, so we're just cheerleading at this point. Well, guys, I mean, there's not much of an analysis you can make on a blue sky breakout. You just got to use your fib extensions, right? So we're just going to chill and watch this happen. We're just here to watch it happen. You know, I can't call out any previous resistance because there is none. It's a blue sky breakout. So Bitcoin's actually looking pretty good, coming back up to 9,300. So yeah, this line right here is the multi-year resistance. So, you know, we got to get out of this area for sure. And it's looking like we probably will, guys. Honestly, it's looking like it's looking like Bitcoin will probably get a break above resistance at this point. We didn't get any immediate rejection. We're maintaining support, so I'm looking for a breakout here as well. You know, I'm not totally sure what exactly initiated the Chainlink pump. People are wondering, you know, what happened here. Well, guys, there's just a lot of demand for Chainlink. There always has been a lot of demand for Chainlink. And now there's rumors that they're going to announce staking. Maybe some insiders know something. Who knows? And we're getting a push above all-time highs. You know, nobody's looking to exit Chainlink right now. There's just too much upside potential at this point. So it's looking really good. Yeah, guys, there's no reason to sell Link, says Jess. Yeah, I'm not really here, you know, guys, I'm not here for short-term moves. I'm here for long-term moves, right? Right now we're just looking at the short-term breakout, but I'm here for the long-term, guys. There's no reason why I want to sell right now. I've been talking about Chainlink for a very long time for a very good reason. Chainlink is revolutionizing smart contracts and crypto in general. So, yeah, there's no reason for me to sell. Passive income says that was short-lived. Guys, this just started, right? Things don't happen in a minute, right? Breakouts can take very long time to develop. I mean, guys, even if, you know, we have this breakout here, we come back, hook back to previous resistance as new support and then bounce, that's fine, right? It's like a break, hook, and go pattern, and that's kind of what you're looking for. So anything above $5.10 is still a breakout. And if we can break, hook back, and go, I mean, that's pretty good. You know, this is the hourly right now. So we're just suspended above all-time highs right now. So we'll see. We're just waiting for that next wave of support to kick in, right? You know, and also Chainlink just had this breakout. So word is getting around. There's a lot of buzz right now for Chainlink. So a lot of eyes are looking at this chart right now. So a lot of people looking at this. So if we see any sort of dip back to the previous resistance, I think it's likely that it turns into support, right? It's pretty likely. And that's kind of what I'm looking to see at this point. William says, hasn't Chainlink preceded Bitcoin's moves a couple times? Well, you know, I don't know. It's a little different because there's just a lot of demand for it, right? So I wouldn't really say it preceded it. It's just there's just a lot of demand. So we end up seeing Chainlink just pop back up to previous levels, just literally based on the high demand. You know, when Bitcoin dumps, Chainlink dumps, right? Most of the time. Sometimes there's been times where it didn't, which was interesting because nobody wants to, you know, people aren't looking to exit Chainlink right now. But, you know, Chainlink is kind of, it has its own level of demand right now. You guys definitely hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 270 likes because that's how many people are watching right now. So we should have 270 likes. Crypto KG says they may implement staking. I wish there were projects. I wish these projects would just be products, just a bunch of promises. Guys, I think Chainlink's going to deliver. Pretty sure Chainlink is going to deliver. You know, there's a lot of interest for Chainlink even from an institutional level. You know, a lot of banks are even trying to use it for their APIs and stuff, and the, you know, cross-border payment systems. You know, in terms of cross-border payment systems, Chainlink is more useful for that than XRP. You know, so Chainlink is going to be taking the market of even XRP in some cases. So there's, yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to deliver, guys. There's definitely enough money backing it right now. You guys, let me know in the chat when Bitcoin crashed. Were you guys able to accumulate? You know, did you have the confidence to do it? And even for Chainlink, that was the best thing ever, right? You know, I was really all about Chainlink for, you know, over a couple of years now, right? And as it was coming up, I was getting really bullish on it here back in the beginning of 2020, and then it crashed with Bitcoin, and everyone was criticizing me about it. And you know, buying Chainlink at those low levels was one of the best assets you could have bought at that time. And we've seen incredible gains since. I mean, since that low, you know, we're up 240% at this point, right? Let me know in the chat, did you guys buy the dip on you know, just in general in crypto? Click 1 for yes, 2 for no. So in March, when we crashed, did you buy this dip in crypto? Click 1 for yes, 2 for no. Because I know, guys, after Bitcoin bounced, there was a lot of bears that thought we were just going to crash again, right? Everybody was talking about like, oh my God, double bottom, right? Everyone was saying double bottom, come in, right? It just never happened. We never got a dump. Since March, we have not seen a dump, right? Guys, you got to keep your eye on the long term. You got to keep your eye on the long term, because there were so many instances where people were saying in here, oh my God, Bitcoin's dumping. Oh my God, Bitcoin's dumping. But look at the higher time frames. Bitcoin never dumped, never, right? So when you hear people saying, oh, we're dumping, you know, other than the pre-halving dump, I mean, that was a little bit harsh. I mean, other than that, guys, like, we did not really see any dumps at all. It's one of the most annoying things when people say we're dumping, right? I mean, you know, every red candle, people just scream, oh my God, it's crashing. But guys, Bitcoin didn't even see one single sell-off since March. Not a single sell-off. Higher lows the whole way. Right, everyone's always wondering why I'm so bullish. Well, guys, there was no reason to be bearish. There was no reason to be bearish on Bitcoin, and I'm glad I wasn't, because it's been great. You know, this level of volume that we saw in March right here, guys, is extremely important. You know, I do a lot of macro analysis, and macro analysis can seem a little repetitive because you're looking at the long term over and over again. But guys, this area right here we had higher levels of volume here than the 20K peak, right? Same thing with this area right here. Same thing with this area right here. All those areas, what do those line up with? Those line up with lows and highs, right? So there's no difference here for March with that volume right there. No difference. It's a low point, and we were talking about that. There's no reason to be bearish on Bitcoin. You got to know you got to learn how to identify market tops and market bottoms. Obviously, that's extremely important when you're trading, identifying market highs and market lows. And you can do that by looking at the higher time frames and looking at the volume levels. You get a huge run up, volume peaks, you reject, right? Same thing with the low. You hit the low, volume peaks, you find support, you run up. Right, so the volume makes it so obvious on the higher time frames where the tops and bottoms are, right? And you know, people, you know, it's easy to say in hindsight, of course, but if you go back, just go back to the dates on my channel, guys. We were calling this as the top in June. We broke the trend, and we were looking for 7,200. Same thing with 2018. We were looking for this breakdown. It's just really important stuff to keep in mind. Very important to know how to identify market tops and market lows, right? Obviously, but the volume is the key for that. Volume is key, guys. Volume and trends. We have the new hourly, so we'll see what happens here. We're looking at Chainlink again on the hourly, so above all-time highs still. Yeah, I just got some new background music in here. I kind of like it. It's pretty chill. What's up, Jesus? Welcome back. See a lot of familiar faces in here. Kevin Blancher's in the chat. Capritio's in the chat. There's a lot of people watching that have been here for, I mean, I don't even know, years at this point. So I appreciate you guys being loyal viewers and always coming back. You guys are amazing, right? Like, you guys are the reason why I do these streams. Because I love seeing all the familiar faces in the chat. Guilty Pleasure, what is up? Guilty Pleasure is back in the chat. Nicholas is in the chat as well. What is up? I think you might have lost your mod position, if this is who I think it is, because YouTube did something weird. Heterophony, Patreon member, what is up? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, guys, some of the picks in I brought your mod position back. Some of the altcoin picks in my Patreon have actually been doing really well, right? For a while, altcoins weren't doing much, and recently they've been doing really well. Number one, obviously Chainlink, and a few others have been seeing some really nice gains recently. So if you guys are interested in looking at some of the altcoins that I'm accumulating and what's making up my altcoin portfolio, you can join the Patreon. And really, guys, Patreon is a way to get extra content and to just support the channel. So if you guys want to know like what other coins I'm interested in, you know, join Patreon. And really, it's just a way to support. It's just a way to support. All right, so if Chainlink does see any sort of pullback here, $5.10, we got to hold it, and anything above it is still a breakout, right? So what could be taking place here is a break, hook, and go, and that would be fantastic, right? Appreciate all 300 of you tuning in. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, guys. Don't normally do live streams. When I do a live stream, it's literally just a hangout, and chill. Most of my analysis is done through videos, static videos. Usually if I do a live stream, it's during some exciting movement, right? Is the link target, Greg D says, is the Chainlink target $7? Let's see. So the immediate, guys, so if you want to look, especially during a blue sky breakout, to find your target, just take out your fib tool, right? And go from swing high to swing low. This is like your best way. This is what other traders are going to be doing. They're going to be looking at the fib extensions from swing high to swing low. You draw your fibs. And then you look at the next fib line, which is coming in at the 1272, around $6.10. So that's the next upside target. Just a guess, because it's blue sky breakout. There's no way to determine any resistance. So if this does continue, we're looking for $6.10. And, you know, after that, maybe we actually head up to the 1618 at $7.36 or so. So those are my targets, $6.10, $7.36 about, but we'll see. It also depends on what exchange you're using. It depends on what exchange you're using. That, you know, Coinbase has $5.10. I think Binance is like $4.98, so it's a little different. You know, a lot of traders, for Bitcoin, a lot of traders use the fib extensions from swing high to swing low, from 20K to 3100 to determine the peak at 14K, which was the 618, the golden retrace, right? Touched right off of it, then reversed. And that giant pump, that giant China pump right there, the Chinese pump they call it, from swing low to swing high, took place at the 618. Right, perfect touch off the 618 and bounced, right? So a lot of, you know, the 618 golden retrace is a pretty good target a lot of times for the macro trend. I mean, especially for Bitcoin. I mean, like all of these run ups, guys, like crazy, right? From swing low to swing high, we come back, we touch the 618, and then run up, right? From this swing low to swing high, we touch the 618, or was it this swing low to this swing high, we touch the 618. From swing low to swing high, I guess it depends on how you want to do this. Swing low to swing high, we touch the 618 and bounced. From this swing low to this swing high, we come back, we touched just above the 618. From this swing low to this swing high, we came back, touched the 618. You know, the 618 is like a magnet in this market a lot of the times. It's pretty interesting. And then from swing high to swing low, we touched the 618 to the upside, fib extension. That's just something I've noticed. Very interesting pattern that continues to reoccur. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. You know, even though we hit the 618 at 7,200, we ended up coming back below it, but we did get a huge bounce off of it. So it's a very common retrace target. It doesn't always have to happen, but during parabolic trends, the 618 is the usual target. Mark Duncan's in the chat. You guys definitely hit that like button. And subscribe if you're new, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Again, most of my analysis is long-term, right? I pretty much, you know, specialize in long-term analysis. I'm looking for macro signals. So Chainlink still suspended above all-time highs. Looking like we're finding a little bit of support, but we'll see. No immediate dumps, right? No immediate rejection, so it's looking pretty good. As long as you're finding support above that all-time high, then it's pretty good, right? And if Bitcoin can cooperate with us and start to push above this area, then that's going to be really good for Chainlink. You know, if Bitcoin dumps, then it might not be great for Chainlink. So this is Bitcoin on the 30-minute right now. We'll see what happens. So it says 1,000 Chainlink will be life-changing in a few years. It could be if you're willing to hold, right? If you're willing to hold onto the asset, right? You know, you gotta have strong hands. And you got to keep your eye on the long term. Don't let little movements spook you, right? Like let's say Bitcoin dumps right now. Let's just say theoretically Bitcoin crashed right now, just out of nowhere, and then Chainlink saw a pullback and broke back down like $4.60. Let's just say something wacky happened. You know, a lot of people would just be like, "Oh my God," and they would just like sell, right? Just out of pure, just they don't have a plan, they don't have anything planned in their head. They're just going off of their pure instinct, like an animal, right? You don't want to trade like an animal, because when you trade like an animal, you're buying the tops and you're selling the lows, right? Try to understand. You know, your guys, important lesson for all you traders out there that might be new. You are built on survival instincts, right? That's what human beings have, survival instincts. So you gotta really maintain those instincts, because your survival instincts are constantly, you know, your brain is set up for immediate survival. How do I survive right now, right? We're talking about real stuff here. Your brain is set up for immediate survival. So if you see the price dump a little bit and you're like, oh my God, I got to sell. That is your brain, your animal brain, like working on, in some sort of like immediate survival instinct. You gotta figure out how to stop that, right? You gotta figure out how to work against that and create a new perspective as a trader. Because guys, things take time, and you gotta have patience, and you gotta have strong hands if you're doing this long term, right? So keep that in mind. Your brain is constantly looking for immediate survival, and you got to start to figure out how to stop that when you're trading, right? The only way your instincts are good to use like that is if you see like a price dump and your instincts tell you to pounce on it, buy it up. Well, that usually works out pretty well, right? So if you can like flip your mindset, then that can work out. I mean, this is going to sound really cheesy, but you got to be like the lion, not the deer, right? You got to be like the thing that's pouncing on the dump, buying it up, not FOMOing on the tops or selling because you're scared. You guys, if you're trading on your emotions, it's going to end bad. I mean, honestly, guys, like Chainlink could flash crash to $1.60 and I wouldn't even really like blink. Like, I mean, I'd be a little worried, but I would probably just end up buying some. I mean, for those of you in my Patreon, you remember when I was buying, I know there's a bunch of people from my Patreon in here right now. You guys remember when I was buying here, I started that altcoin portfolio from scratch that I'm displaying in Patreon. And I started buying right here in beginning of the year, beginning of 2020, right? I'm adding into it, stacking, right? In Patreon, I started an altcoin portfolio from scratch, right? I was building it up in the beginning of the year. I think I built it up to like $7,000 something worth total, and I was, I've increased a bunch since then, but it was just like a project for Patreon. But the market crashed, and the portfolio value at the low point was at like 2,500, right? So I lost like 70% value. I didn't sell. I didn't even really like. I was like, damn, this sucks, but I'm not going to sell. I'm actually just going to start buying, right? And I've like, the value of it has tripled since then, tripled in value. So everything's been working great. From 7,000, it's already tripled because I bought the low. And you can see it all in Patreon. So that's the kind of mindset that I was just talking about. Again, guys, you got to have a plan. Definitely have a plan. I mean, Chainlink's not doing all too much right now. We're just above all-time highs, so I'm just talking about things that I want to talk about. There's no script here. I'm just going off the top of my head. Looking like a little bit of support's coming in. Someone says, do you think Chainlink could be an indicator for Bitcoin to rise too? Well, guys, not really. Chainlink is not yet big enough to like lead Bitcoin. You guys got to understand the weight of certain assets within the market. Chainlink isn't leading Bitcoin breakouts. It's just one project in the crypto market. It's not leading Bitcoin breakouts. If it was, Bitcoin should be pushing up right now, which it's really not that much at the moment, right? So it's not really how it works. And also, the dumbest thing I ever heard was that the stock market follows Bitcoin. That's, I don't know, man. That's just a ridiculous idea. Okay, so here's why that can be misconceived, is because Bitcoin leads the stock market. Bitcoin is like a tech stock, right? It's like leading the stock market. but the stock market is not looking at Bitcoin, right? These guys that are managing trillions of dollars in the stock market are not looking at Bitcoin. They're not looking at Bitcoin, guys. So Bitcoin leads the stock market, true. Stock market does not follow Bitcoin. That is ludicrous. Rip V4 says, "Are you drinking coffee?" No, guys, I'm actually drinking water. Good old water. Bitcoin is the boss. Bitcoin is definitely the boss, guys. Even if, Chainlink's breaking out right now, and we're actually finding a little bit of support on the lower time frames, the 15-minute chart, a little bit of support. We're just looking at the lower time frames here. If Bitcoin dumps right now, Chainlink's dumping. Chainlink's done. Not done. Sorry, the breakout is done. It's over. We're going back down, right? If Bitcoin were to sell off, which Bitcoin's looking fine right now, so Chainlink will probably continue to be bullish. AM says, "Regular follower videos." Well, I appreciate you joining in, AM. Honest and candid information. Not many YouTubers in that category. Yeah, that's like usually my live streams turn into just candid information. Me just kind of going off on certain topics because I'm really big on just psychology and mindset and the way that you're perceiving the charts. So a lot of the things that I like to teach, during live streams is not really something that I can display on the chart. Emotions 101, yeah. Yo, George, what's up, George? I'm gonna add you as a mod. Definitely smash up that like button. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of people selling their XRP for Chainlink. And so far, it's been a great move, right? Who knows? XRP might pump at some point. I don't know. But so far, people are making money on Chainlink. People are just making money on Chainlink, and XRP has been lagging, guys. Not doing so great. I mean, I've never been big on XRP. It just hasn't really, I don't know. The way, Brad Garlinghouse literally said publicly, the guy who's running Ripple, whatever, he said publicly that we sell XRP onto the market to make money for our investors. So they dump XRP onto you to make money. And I was like, okay, well, that is, at least he's being honest, but I was like, okay, that's not something I want to hold. Doesn't make sense. You're selling the asset to make money for yourself, and I'm supposed to buy that? It's really weird. Really weird. I don't know. I mean, who knows, guys? At some point, maybe XRP will see another huge pump, and everybody, people like me will be proven wrong, and XRP is going to moon. It's actually possible. It's actually very possible, and I don't doubt that it would see a pump again. Pop up to 50 cents or higher, or something like some kind of pop during a bull run. Totally possible, actually quite likely, but it's just not something that attracts me, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm just not attracted to the idea of XRP, but I wish everyone all the best. And just in general, over the past couple of years, XRP has been, parabolically down. It's like literally parabolic to the downside. It's just not for me. But one thing I would say positively about XRP is that the volume is huge right now, right? So there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of people accumulating XRP right now. So a lot of the supply is being bought up. So at some point the supply might thin out, and then there'll be room to move up, right? And you definitely want to get above these, the 10-week EMA, 21-week EMAs, the great moving average pair that I use a lot on the weekly. We found a lot of resistance here. We got above it a couple times for a short period of time, but So generally for XRP, anything below these two moving averages was a buy, and above these was a sell. Below it was a buy, above it was a sell. We did find resistance on it multiple times, these two moving averages, but if you can get above them, then you might see some upside. These 10-week EMA, 21-week EMA. So that's what you want to look for, is a break above these moving averages. But XRP is not really for me, but it is a top crypto, so I can't ignore it. And I also don't research XRP all that much, so there could be things I don't understand. But I know there's a huge community out there. I don't want to make anyone mad. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest, guys. Don't hate me for being honest. So looking at the CryptoWatch asset card list, Chainlink is definitely a top mover right now, right? Bitcoin up 2.5, Ethereum up 5.5. Okay, Bitcoin SV popping off pretty good, up 25%. But other than that, Chainlink is one of the top movers here. Bitcoin SV seeing some nice moves. Benji says, what are your thoughts on Dogecoin? Usually an alt indicator? Not really, guys. It's not really an indicator at all. Dogecoin is owned by a lot of Bitcoin OGs, right? So for anyone interested in Dogecoin, just remember a lot of the supply is owned by like Bitcoin OGs. So and it's their little toy that they play with, right? They just pump it and dump it, and they just they kind of probably insider trading. They just kind of mess around with Dogecoin, and it's not really anything to keep in. It's not really that significant. But there are pumps because the OGs like to play with it. They like to pump it. It's like a little toy for the Bitcoin OGs. Anything else up big right now? Bitcoin SV to the US dollar. This is since the end of 2018. So Bitcoin SV is up 25% right now. And we're kind of just trading in this very long-term channel. You know, just finding support along this trend. So Bitcoin SV is now bouncing off of the upward sloping support line that has been in place since like beginning middle of 2019 on the USD chart. And you know, if it's going to continue moving through this long-term price channel, then you might end up seeing it trend up. We'll see what happens though. Obviously depends on what Bitcoin does. It really depends on Bitcoin, right? Again, things take time, right? Like what I just drew on the chart right there was literally like almost a whole year. So just keep in mind, guys, a lot of this stuff takes time. Nothing's going to pump tomorrow. $100 Chainlink, someone's saying 100. Well, long term, it's actually possible. But right now, I would say my medium term target is like $7.40 is my medium term target. $7.40. And then long term, we'll see what happens. It's hard to say, but I would say in the 20s, $20 or higher. I'd say that's a pretty good long-term, semi-conservative target, actually. For like long-term, we're talking the next year or two. $100 Link to retire? No, you're gonna need way more than that. I mean, even 100 Bitcoin is not even well, actually, I mean, it is, I guess. But you're gonna need more. You need, like, if you want to retire on Chainlink alone, you're gonna need like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Chainlink. But that's not financial advice. I mean, I don't know how old you are either. But 6ZZR1 is a patron, so I appreciate you being in this chat right now. I wonder if the stock market's going to go to all-time highs. I actually think it's possible. I actually think it's kind of possible that the stock market might do something like this, where we end up break out into a new all-time high, then reverse, consolidate, and then go up. Like hit this area for high liquidity, big players sell. Take profits, we dump, another round of panic before the recovery. I think it's something like this is actually quite possible. Because as I explained in my second to last video, the Fed is adjusting the stock market for inflation right now. So they need to adjust the stock market to keep prices higher to adjust for inflation. So I don't really expect any sort of major dump anymore. I could see the stock market, the S&P right now, seeing some chop. But I don't really expect any sort of major collapse at this point. It seems like we're doing pretty good. We're doing okay. And in terms of the pandemic, the virus, the infection rates are going up because we're testing a lot, but the death rate of COVID-19 is going down because the treatment is getting better. Scientists or doctors are becoming more clever with their treatment, figuring out better solutions. Apparently the ventilators were pushing the virus back into people. Like the airflow is pushing the virus back into their lungs. So apparently that's what I've heard. So they're figuring out different ways to do this. Chainlink is just still maintaining above all-time highs. I feel pretty good about it. There's not much selling here. I feel pretty good, guys. As long as Bitcoin remains stable, I think Chainlink will probably actually continue up. When you're looking at the 15-minute chart, there are profit takers, but not huge sellers just yet. And as I was explaining before, guys, you know, Chainlink has been kind of just trending up. Nobody's dumping. And now we're at the all-time high, pushing above all-time highs. This is just the natural course of the demand for Chainlink. And I don't think anyone's going to really want to dump now. If they were going to dump, they probably would have already. You know, anywhere in this range. But nobody wanted to sell. And now the demand is high enough for us to break the all-time high. And there's like rumors and stuff of staking, so we'll see. People are talking about $100 Chainlink in the chat. Well, you know, for example, guys, let's look at Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's a little, so there are in terms of like, how do I explain this? So Ethereum, there's a lot of projects being built on Ethereum, right? So there's a lot of value behind Ethereum. So, right? So if you imagine 2016, 2017, Ethereum's at $5. And if someone told you, hey, in 1 year, sitting at $6, someone says, hey, they're in my chat, we're back here, you know, 2016, We're sitting at $6, and someone's like, yo, Kev, Ethereum is going to be at $1,400 in a year. I'd be like, yeah, I think that's a little crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that, right? I would have told them, let's stay conservative. Let's not be too crazy, right? But it happened. We went from $6 to $1,400. Markets usually move in a way that you don't expect. Things are usually more bullish than you expect, and things are usually more bearish than you expect because people don't have patience, right? Things, so, and going back to my point where I was saying a lot of projects can be built on Ethereum, so there's a lot of value backing Ethereum. Same thing with Chainlink, guys. There are a lot of projects that can utilize Chainlink, right? And even projects that have nothing to do with blockchain can use Chainlink, right? So on-chain, off-chain, guys, right? So there's a lot of use cases for Chainlink. Just like there was a lot of use cases for Ethereum, a lot of possibilities for Ethereum. Same thing with Chainlink. There's so many ways to use Chainlink. So if you understand Chainlink and you understand what I'm saying, there are so many ways you can utilize Chainlink on-chain and off-chain. So the actual potential gain for Chainlink is very high. It's very high. So if I were to say, yes, I do think $100 is possible, some people would say that's crazy, but if you consider what I just said about Ethereum, it's not that crazy anymore. Right? And just like Ethereum was sitting here at $5 and it goes to 1,400, right now Chainlink is sitting at $5. I'm not saying it's going to go 1,400, but the market is usually a lot more bullish than you expect and a lot more bearish than you expect. I'm not going to call out any crazy numbers. Medium term target, $7.40, and longer term, probably in the 20s, but that's just a total guess. Could go way higher than that. Yeah, Ethereum does look really good right now. Ethereum is another solid buy. Guys, I mean, this trend looks so ripe for a breakout. It looks so ripe for a breakout here. I mean, if Ethereum comes back to just test that previous resistance here from 2019 at $364, that's 50%. 50% on the initial break to previous resistance here. 50%. So Ethereum is a really good buy, even right now. Looking at the long term, if Ethereum were to enter some kind of consolidation within this range, I mean, amazing buy. Even right now, it's possible that even if after a breakout you get a chance to buy it again at the same levels, but you just gotta have strong hands, guys. You gotta have strong hands for the long term, right? And doing these depictions on the chart is really good for me, right? Looking at this type of just like a random, like people call it squiggly line TA, where I'm just pointing out a resistance and support. I love doing this because it gives me perspective. Like even if crypto has a huge upswing and Ethereum goes up 50%, well, I know that we could actually come back to test this prices that we're at today. And I need to have strong hands, and I need to be accumulating at these levels again in a few months. Right? So this is like where my mind is usually, like that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, yeah, my analysis is a little bit different from most channels because I'm pretty much only looking long term. Unless we have like a breakout like this, and I'm looking at the 30-minute chart because it's exciting. Guys, we got 400 people watching. Definitely smash that like button if you're enjoying the stream, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. If you're enjoying the content, guys. Just hanging out, live stream hangout. So the breakout's looking pretty stable for Chainlink. Looking pretty stable. Bitcoin needs some, this is a 30-minute chart. I would love to see, if Bitcoin sees continuation, this will be great for Chainlink. This is the 4-hour for Bitcoin. If we see some continuation here, it'd be really good for Chainlink. Just looking at chat. Blue Fig, what is up? Blue Fig says, I think we will blow a lot of predictions out of the water because crypto gets so much attention when it pumps. People FOMO in like crazy. Yeah, that's generally how it goes in this market because it's very much based, crypto is very much based on speculation. So when it pumps, it pumps. When it dumps, right? If a market is based on speculation, then the dumps are going to be really harsh and the pumps are going to be really strong. Extremely momentum driven, guys. Bitcoin is extremely momentum driven in crypto in general. Sorry, I probably missed a lot of you guys' comments. I appreciate everyone commenting, but I might have missed some stuff. Matt says, should I buy 10K Chainlink or 5 Bitcoin? Well, depends on what your goal is, right? Are you looking for something that's a secure investment that you're going to look for growth over time? Or are you looking for something that's riskier but has more growth potential? Obviously, Bitcoin's more secure and Chainlink has more growth potential. So it depends on how much you're willing to risk or how risky you're willing to get with that money, right? If it's money you can afford to lose, which you should, that's the only thing you should be using in this market anyway, but then maybe Chainlink. But if it's if it's something that you definitely don't want to lose, then Bitcoin's better. Orhan says, what is a gem coin that you like? Guys, I don't, in my Patreon, I've been building up an altcoin portfolio, right? Since the beginning of 2020, I made a new project, a new goal. I said to my patrons, hey, I want to start this project where I build an altcoin portfolio from scratch and I build it up and you guys watch me build up a portfolio, which I think is pretty cool. And I've been building it for a while now, and I don't want to disclose all the coins that are in it because that's for the patrons. It's more of an exclusive thing. Chainlink is just my obvious number one, but there are a few others in there that I think are really good, and I've been accumulating those slowly. Big Maddox says, I would S my pants if I wake up and Chainlink is $7 in the morning. Well, guys, that's not what I'm saying. I said my medium term target is like around $7.40. Medium term, that does not mean tomorrow. That means like a couple months or something, right? A few months maybe. Right? Things take time. It took Chainlink forever. And I mean, if you're a Chainlink holder, we've been very patient. We've been very patient waiting for this breakout, right? It's taken a long time. Nothing happens overnight. Just being sarcastic, he says. I mean, that would be great if we woke up and it was 7, but I don't want. I just wanted to make sure that that's not the expectation I'm creating. I'm saying medium term, so it takes a while. KB says, do you think passively buying $50 worth of Chainlink twice a month would be a good plan? Or should it be all about buying the dips? Well, if you are looking at this as a long-term investment, you don't really care about those $50 every 2 months, and you're looking to just leave it there as something that can grow over time, then it doesn't really matter all that much. I would just say just buy randomly twice a month, on a timer on your app. Just have it just accumulate for you. If you're always looking at the charts, then yeah, you could buy the dips because you're focused, right? You're focused on looking for those dips. But if you're looking at this long term, it's not a big deal. I mean, guys, I bought this all-time high, right? I bought this all-time high, and I bought the crash, right? So I've been buying like everywhere. I mean, I bought before that, but what I'm saying is I've been accumulating Chainlink like all over the place, right? I bought a lot on this run up too. Bought the all-time high, bought the low, like a lot of places. Somebody says, did you buy Energy Web token? I have not. I mean, I don't know any exchanges that I use that have it yet, right? I haven't really gone out my way to buy it. It's pretty interesting. I watched Chico's video about it. I was thinking about buying a little bit, but I haven't found an exchange that I want to use. Chestnut says, are you bullish about Chainlink because of the fundamentals behind it or more from a TA perspective? Well, like I was saying, guys, I've been accumulating Chainlink all over the place. So I don't really care too much about the everyday price action. I'm in it for the technology, actually. I've been talking about this project since like, what was the date? I think I posted on Twitter, on my Stock Twits page. I'm not sure if I had my YouTube channel then or not. I think I did. I think it was 2018. I was posting about Chainlink when it was like 50 cents or something. And I was talking about how it's going to revolutionize smart contracts. And I was posting about it on the Stock Twits page before I had all my other social media. And then I think I had another video in 2018 on my YouTube channel about it. But I've been talking about the actual technology behind it because it made sense to me, right? You can if you can allow a smart contract to interact with a trusted source of information, that smart contract becomes actually smart, right? It can actually do something. Like right now, guys, smart contracts are like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm trying to look for something to explain it with. It's like, guys, it's just a smart contract is like a set piece of code that just does the same thing over and over again, right? But with Chainlink, you can connect that smart contract to an outside data source, a trusted source of information that will change the smart contract in real time. So now the smart contract is changing in real time, so it becomes smart, right? So if you guys want me to get super in-depth about this as a use case for Chainlink, I can, because there's some people out there that don't even understand what Chainlink is. If you guys want to understand what it can actually be used for as a good use case, I can explain it right now. So if, like I just said, a smart contract is a set piece of code that doesn't change. With Chainlink, you can allow that smart contract to change in real time. So now it's becoming smart. It's actually changing and developing based on real world data. Now, as an example of this, if an employer had a list of all of his employees and he has an Ethereum contract connected to all of his employees and he's automatically paying them out, if he fires one of them, he has to change the smart contract himself. Now, if that employee list was connected to his database with Chainlink, that smart contract could change. That the employee gets fired, that smart contract removes the fired employee, and now he's paying the right people. You see? So smart contracts become smart. They can change now with Chainlink. Does that make sense? That's a very simple, good example. And there's so many things you can do, guys. You don't even need Ethereum to use Chainlink. You can actually use Chainlink for off-chain uses. Well, I mean, you need Ethereum because Chainlink is built on Ethereum, but I think you guys know what I mean. Well, guys, how can you trust the Chainlink Oracle? Well, Chainlink is on the blockchain, so it's verified. The source of data that you're using is what you need to figure out. You need to figure out the right source of data, right? So a trusted source of information. For those of you that just listened to that entire explanation, click 1 if it made sense, click 2 if it did not make sense. I want to know. Looking at that 5-minute crack chart. All right, so most people think it did make sense. Bluefig says excellent. So most people think it does make sense, so that's good. Annie Holloman is back. Let me give you a mod position. YouTube removed all of my mods. Annie is back in the chat. Oh yeah, Bluefig as well. Bluefig had one, YouTube removed it. So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin's stalling a little bit here. Chainlink's stalling a little bit here, although we're not dumping, so it's looking okay. We'll see what happens. Bondi says data source centralized, though. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, you have to find the right data source. It's going to be pretty tough to have somebody create a free decentralized data source. You know, it's not really realistic. So you have to go to somebody that has like a good reputation, that's like known for having correct data. And if the data was wrong, they get a really bad reputation, so like Oracle or something. You know, to go to somebody has a good reputation. Right? You don't want some random guy in another country giving you data for your smart contract Oracle system, whatever. KB says Chainlink and Ethereum are the only altcoins that I own. I mean, they're pretty good, right? Just keep stacking Bitcoin, Chainlink, Ethereum. It's not bad. Not bad. Ethereum is a great bet. It's a great bet. Because all of the altcoin projects that I like are built on Ethereum. So 2 + 2 = 4. All of my favorite altcoins are built on Ethereum. Well, it looks like I should be buying Ethereum. 2 + 2 = 4, guys. Buy Ethereum. Not financial advice. Yeah, when it comes to Ethereum, that $364 level is going to be a bit of a hurdle from that 2017 run up. A lot of resistance here. We actually had major support here in 2018 on that 300 level. Ethereum had resistance again in 2019 at that 364 level. And, you know, it's going to, you know, wherever we hit it again, it's going to be that next major hurdle. So in my opinion, anywhere under this downward sloping resistance line is a really great accumulation zone. Above it, it's decent accumulation zone. This is like profit zone, right? I would like to have all of my accumulation finished before we cross 364. Below this area, great accumulation. Moderately okay above it. And above here, I'm not going to be buying any more above here. Probably not. So, you know, generally in this range, it's good. For the long term trading, guys, long-term investing, right? And it sounds funny, right? When because people are so used to, you know, analysts being very specific, like, oh, we're going to hit this exact dollar amount, this exact price or something. And I'm sitting here saying, you know, generally if you're accumulating under this area, under this downward sloping resistance, that's a good place. You know, it almost sounds funny to some people, but for the professional out there, you know, they're actually, the long-term traders, they're not really they don't really care too much about like exactly this, exactly that, right? They're just looking for trends, market structure. So if you're accumulating in this area, long term, it's probably great. Traders, it's different. Short-term trading, a little different. I mean, very different. Completely different. Cryptomorpheus says, Cryptomorpheus coming in with a 2, says number of likes equals link price end of year. Smash the likes. I like that. Whatever likes we get on this video is going to be the end of year price for Chainlink. So if you want to pump Chainlink, you gotta pump those likes. We have 373 people watching right now, which means we should have at least 300 likes. So we need 40 of you out there to hit that like button. Pamp the likes, guys. Pamp the likes. Just looking at the Ethereum chart long term. All right, so Chainlink, finding support. Chainlink 30-minute chart. Guys, like I was saying, going to find support somewhere above previous resistance, most likely, and see a continued bounce. Looks like it's playing out on the 30-minute lower time frames. We'll see how it goes. This is looking good. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Chainlink staking soon, so there's a lot of hype for that. John Alexi says, what is your long-term prediction for Chainlink within the next 4 years? Guys, that is not something that's really, it doesn't make sense to, it doesn't make sense for me to sit here and give that price, or to even think about that really, like, because crypto is so new and it's so speculative and the market is really always developing. When it comes to crypto, having a 4-year outlook, yeah, you can do that, but it's more of something you got to take as it comes year by year. I would say year by year. You know, you could believe in the four-year cycles, but who really knows, guys? Who really knows? I can't really give a 4-year prediction for Chainlink. I would just say much higher prices. That's all I would say. Much higher prices in 4 years. It could be astronomical. It could be moderate. I don't know. We'll have to see how the market develops. My medium-term target is $7.40 for Chainlink, which is coming in at the 1618. Medium-term target up at $7.40. And that is actually only, you know, less than 40% away, 35% up, which is really not that crazy. Not that crazy at all. It could totally happen so easily. How much time is left on the daily right now? An hour. Hour left. CRO is pumping again. Someone says, yeah, I missed that pump. I totally missed that. There were multiple occasions where I was like, maybe I should buy some. I was like, nah, I should wait for a pullback, and it just keeps going up. I'm like, damn. Right, but I'm happy with Chainlink for now. Someone says, Bitcoin Cash opinion, please. I don't know. I'd rather just pick Bitcoin over Bitcoin Cash. BTC over BCH, in my opinion. That's first and foremost. Let's just put that out there. It does not make sense to think that BCH is somehow competing with BTC. It doesn't make sense. The entire crypto industry is built on Bitcoin Core, right? All the exchanges hold BTC, and all the biggest trading pair is BTC, other than USD or whatever. So BTC is dominant over BCH, and it probably always will be. What I like about BCH is that they are making it more convenient to do transactions with the apps and stuff. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit easier to use BCH than BTC. So there's that, but you know, BTC is a more surefire investment. BCH is a little bit more speculative. Mark Duncan says, Mark's coming with a 5, and he says, appreciate the live videos. Mark, I appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel with your donos. Much appreciated. Shout out to Crypto Morpheus and Mark Duncan. AJ says, what is your link price target by December? Guys, medium term, I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna stick with my medium term target, $7.40. That's the next level I'm looking at medium term. We'll just stick with that. I'm not gonna go be too speculative, but we'll go with Bitcoin for a second. For Bitcoin, I actually think we'll probably end up breaking the high. Well, it depends, but it's possible that we actually end up breaking the high at 13.8K before the end of the year. Especially if you're looking at the stock to flow model, especially if you're looking at it like this, you know, it seems like to me that 15K end of year definitely makes sense to me. Looking at the stock to flow model, I would say 15K end of year is a pretty good overall target for Bitcoin. You know, just taking into consideration that if we do break above this multi-year downtrend soon, and we break out and we do end up getting an uptrend according to the stock to flow model, you know, which is not end all be all, but it's just something interesting to keep in mind for Bitcoin cycles. If we do get this breakout, you know, I would say 15K end of year, or at least around the end of the year, kind of makes sense to me, right? Could actually be, you know, we'll see. At least testing the 13.8K range by the end of the year, the new year or something. This is kind of what I would expect, right? A slow build up, and then go a little bit more parabolic, and then potentially see a sell-off. You know, do what Bitcoin always does and create a larger scale formation. That's always what I'm expecting, usually with Bitcoin bull markets. But again, you know, what I always tell people, a lot of people always ask, like, when should I sell? Like, okay, Kevin, you're trading long term, so what's your plan? When are you going to sell? That's a great question. Generally, that comes down to the trend. How's the trend developing? So, for example, guys, really interesting thing about the Bitcoin trend is this right here. So looking at the Bitcoin chart from the weekly, from the long term, we have like this upward sloping trend going from 2016 to 2017, and then things become much more parabolic, right? Things become very parabolic. And then what happens? It looks a little confusing right now, but this parabolic trend, right? Bitcoin's seeing a parabolic trajectory all the way up, and then we break it, right? This is the area that we broke the parabolic trend right here. A little confusing. Maybe I should draw it a little differently. I'll just draw it with the line tool. It doesn't really matter. It's a little sketch, but you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. Basically, this area right here is where the parabolic trend ended, right there, where we crossed that line. And if you watch my video, I actually had a video about this at this moment. We're not at the exact moment, but right when we crossed below this parabolic trajectory, this trend line, right in this area, guys, in my second video on this channel, I made a post. I made a video, and I said, guys, Bitcoin's breaking the parabolic trend. Very likely, we're going to see a huge move to the downside. And we ended up hitting like $6,000 or so. So we break the parabolic trend, and then what happens? What happens after that? We create a classic descendant triangle, bearish pattern. You know what also happened, guys? The reason why I thought we were going to sell off to 7.2K here after we hit 14K was because literally same exact pattern. We hit a parabolic trend, it just repeats. And then what happens? We break below this parabolic trend, right? We're going parabolic, and then right here we break it in the same fashion, right there, just like we did right up here. And then it's a little messy, but, and then we entered a descending triangle, guys. Very similar stuff. I think they changed the line tool in CryptoWatch. Made it a little bit harder to do that, but right here, descending triangle, same thing. You break the parabolic trend and then you enter a descending triangle. The psychology was like almost the same on both these runs, which made it super easy to identify. Very, very similar stuff going on here, guys. So what I'm looking for, to go back to my original point, is like, when do you sell? You look for the trend development, and you look for how is the trend structured, right? So if Bitcoin sees some sort of breakout here, you look for, you know, what is the trend looking like? And do we have enough momentum to continue the trend based on the volume? Are we hitting a market high? You know, market peaks and market lows are determined by the volume signature. There's a lot of factors that I want to go into, but there's a lot to talk about when it comes to identifying when you want to sell. There's a lot of things to discuss, but you're looking at that trend stuff that I just discussed. You're looking at patterns like descending triangles or ascending triangles for reversals back to the upside, right? Almost the opposite of this, right? So you're looking for chart patterns. You're looking for trend breaks, trend development. You're looking at the volume from a larger time scale to see if we hit a market peak or a market low. And that's how I determine when I'm going to sell. So people ask me, like, when are you going to sell, Kev? I actually don't know, right? My plan is to keep an eye on the charts and let my experience and my knowledge of analyzing the chart tell me when I need to sell. That's how I do it. So I don't have a specific plan on when I'm going to sell because I'm trading a long term. So I have to stick around and analyze as things go on. So my style is not like your typical, your typical trader mentality, which is fine, short term fine, but I'm saying typical trader mentality when you're buying and selling short term. When you're like, oh, here's the plan, I'm going to buy here, sell here. My strategy is a little bit more, I have to adapt a little bit more. And it's a lot longer term. But the fact that Bitcoin's holding this right here is pretty cool. To me, this is bullish, right? And this decline in volume looks like we're going to break very soon, guys. We're coming to the end of the volume decline. To me, it looks like we'll probably end up breaking bullish. Probably. And especially if the stock market can remain bullish, which right now, guys, the stock market is remaining very bullish. So if the stock market can continue up, however it does it, chops around, continues up, Bitcoin will probably get a breakout as well. Probably break out from this downward sloping resistance. To me, this seems actually kind of likely right now, which is really crazy. But the Fed is pumping this thing, adjusting the stock market for inflation. Which is why, a lot of people think it doesn't make sense that stocks are bullish, but it does make sense if you understand that the stock market has to be adjusted for inflation. So the value of the dollar is most likely going to be decreasing in the near future, the next few years. So stock prices have to be propped up. All right, guys, so I've been streaming for an hour and a half, went over like a ton of stuff. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be streaming, but Chainlink is still maintaining prices above the new all-time high here at $5.55. Found support just now at $5.20 and saw a slight bounce. Looks like there's not that many sellers. Looks like, to me, we'll probably end up getting some kind of sideways consolidation, maybe some sort of downward sloping consolidation, and then probably bounce again, most likely. We'll see. Bitcoin looking pretty good, trading at 9,300 right now. Right? Bitcoin's looking good. Seeing some buy action here on the 30-minute. 4-hour looks pretty good. Looks like we could see some continuation. And the daily looks nice. Like we're holding support. And the weekly looking pretty good. We still have, this is the new week. We still have, you know, basically 7 days. So, or I mean, you know, 6 days left. So if we can get this weekly candle to close above this downward sloping resistance, that's extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And again, the reason why I think that's likely is the fact that the downward sloping volume trend, is coming to a point where, and you know, the consolidation of the price here, squeezing, coiled up, ready for a move, guys. Consolidating sideways, higher lows, lower highs, declining volume. It is primed for a move. I'm leaning bullish, guys. I'm leaning bullish. And Chainlink is looking pretty good. So, guys, I think I'm going to end the stream. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Just went over a bunch of stuff, kind of on a whim. Or, I guess, like, not scripted. Just kind of went with what I wanted to talk about. Big shout out to Crypto Morpheus coming up with the 2. A big shout out to Mark Duncan coming up with the 5, guys. Much appreciated. And I appreciate you guys all smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you haven't subscribed. And guys, as you guys know, Cryptowatch is the platform you guys see me use in all my videos. It is my preferred platform for charting and trading. I have a tutorial on how to use it, so you can definitely sign up there. Check it out. If you guys want to support this channel, get extra content, and actually see what my altcoin portfolio is made up of, you can join the Patreon, and you can actually watch me build up an altcoin portfolio over time. You can see all the other smaller projects, the potential gems in the crypto space that I have in that portfolio. And guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I tweet a lot, so follow me on Twitter. And last but not least, join the Discord. Join the Discord, guys. Join that Discord channel. I'm in there all the time, pretty much every day. And yeah, guys, that's about it. That is about it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great stream. Chainlink at all-time highs. Couldn't be happier with it. Looks like it'll continue up. And yeah, guys, it's been a great day so far. Hope you guys are enjoying your gains if you're holding Chainlink. And I will see you guys in the next video.